Good day to all my fellow marks out there, and welcome to the wacky and wild world of professional wrestling, the only form of entertainment where the most dominant and menacing faction are dressed in fresh Hanes white t-shirts. Grab yourself a drink and a snack, kick your feet up and relax. You are now listening to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 27 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I'm your main host, Mike. That's Mike GWP on the socials. You should know that by now. I've had a good week this week. I hope everyone had a good new year. I'm going to pass over to my co-hosts.
I'm currently sat like player number 30 from Squid Game because I'm wearing the green Osprey jacket, so it's very Squid Game. It does look like he should be in Squid Game whenever he wears it, and I didn't notice until I got it for Christmas there, and my girlfriend said to me, she goes, it looks like a Squid Game jacket. I'm like, fuck, it does. Like, it is. Anyway.
The Brett here, that ball bro. I am still exhausted from all the wrestling over the weekend. Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, but amazing weekend of wrestling. Can't wait to talk about it.
And I'm Wrestling Mark, and I like old wrestlers.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you don't mean ones who have currently got a deal with the WWE to sell their booze or promote their booze. Racist ones.
Can I, before we get, I don't know if I just want to dive straight into it, but I had a little look earlier on, and I was tempted to post it online, but decided not to. Again, like I've seen like a lot, obviously, of this discourse about the ages, and I'm assuming we're probably all on the same level when we're like, fuck off to most people that are just being ageist, but you know their agendas and whatnot. Obviously, it's very obvious agendas. Can I just quickly reel off, I mean, I could go later on with this, I don't mind. The main event scene from WWE at the start of 2025, and AEW's, there's a little bit of a difference. So you got The Rock 52, Cena 47, AJ 46, Punk 46, Sheamus 46, Orton 44, Balor 43, Priest 42, Owens 40, Zayn 40, Drew and Reigns and Cody 39, Rollins 38, Gunther 37, Solo 31. Out on his own a bit. That's pretty much covering the entire upper mid and main event scene. AEW's Christian and Coke 51, Lashley 48, Samoa Joe 45, Danielson and Eddie Kingston 43, Kenny 41, Moxley 39, Okada 37, Swerve 34, Hangman 33, Jay White 32, Darby and Ospreay 31, MJF 28, and Carl Fletcher 26. For added context, I'll say the bona fide mid-carders are the following lot: Adam Cole, Roddy Strong, Jack Perry, Powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Briscoe, Danny Garcia, Takeshi Tapak, Claudio Yuta, all of the House of Black, Ricochet, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Jericho, and Roosh. So they're not that old, AEW, really.
I did this. I knew what you were going to do there because I did this a couple of weeks ago. I went through the ages because it was wrecking me head. All this, you've got to build young stars, and I looked, and it's more or less the same across the board. It's not that much of a difference.
With these AEW, like, all right, Jeff Jarrett's having this little mini run, which is obviously just going to be, again, I know we're going to delve into that a bit more, but like it's a very small thing that's going to probably end up with him being bloodied and battered by someone sooner rather than later. Let's be perfectly honest. And then I'll be honest, like Jericho's gone straight into the mid card now. Whatever anyone says, he's in mid card feuds all the time. He's never anywhere near the top of the card. Main event in a collision doesn't account for that. Christian is perfectly fucking valid in having a position where he is because he's been fucking brilliant. And again, how much do we even see him anymore? Cope, like, I'll be honest, I don't want to see that much of Cope, but he's just come back. He was always going to have a big couple of weeks to set him back into the scene, basically. Apart from that, like Christopher Daniels is going to get killed by Hangman Page. Like WWE are about to push in. The Rock's going to come in and probably main event on WrestleMania. Cena's probably going to be around the main event scene. CM Punk's going to be around the main event scene. They are 46, 47, and 52 years old.
Yep. Oh, you forgot one name, Mark. That's coming back into the fold. Goldberg.
And Goldberg. There you go. 65-year-old Goldberg. And of course, we're getting Hulk Hogan tonight, apparently, as well. We're recording this on a Monday. We're getting Hulk Hogan turning up on Raw tonight, so that's great.
Yep, you got Goldberg, and rumors say he's going to have a match with Gunther. Poor fucking Gunther. He's going to have to drag his fucking bald bastard to a 2-star match at best. Like, fucking hell.
It's fucking nuts, isn't it, man? But I hope Gunther's taking some precautions there. I hope he's got life insurance. He fucking dropped on his neck by that cunt.
Oh God.
Let's ask Bret Hart what he thinks.
I'm sure you'll get a fair and balanced answer from him.
Fuck Bill Goldberg.
It's just so weird that, like, look, again, like maybe it was a little bit okay. There was a lot of old guys featured this week. Like, okay, this is not an every week thing. We're not going to see Christopher Daniels suddenly destroy Hangman Page. We're not going to see Jeff Jarrett suddenly be world champion. Adam Copeland's not going to main event. I hope not. Every fucking weekly TV show going forwards. It's very weird that there was this knee jerk reaction to 1 week when, look, I'll be straight up. This wasn't my favorite week in AEW have done in recent times. I thought, on the whole, I didn't think it was bad by any stretch, but I didn't think it was anywhere near as good as probably the last 7 or 8 weeks of television. However, I do understand that when you're suddenly on Max and you've suddenly got whatever, some people are saying 65,000, some people are saying 700,000. Fuck knows, I don't really care. But when you know you're going to have new eyes on it, or lapsed eyes coming back to it, you do want them to be familiar with a couple of people. People that watch TNA are going to know Jeff Jarrett. They might like him, they might not, but they still know who he is. Edge is a very familiar face. Chris Jericho is a very familiar face. Christian Cage. So I do understand why they did it. And look, if they do that every week for the next 6 weeks, that's a problem. They're not going to do that for every week for the next 6 weeks. They're going to probably not do that ever again.
If you ask friends that you have who don't watch wrestling regularly or don't look at wrestling on the internet, if you just throw a few names out there, I guarantee you the names you've just mentioned, they'll be like, oh, fucking hell, really? And they'd kind of know them and actually be interested. Whereas if you mention some of the other names, the guys who we will probably think are better wrestlers, they probably won't know who they are and not give a fuck. So he has that balancing act of having to try and draw new eyes in on the product, lapsed fans, like you say, and then slowly say, look, and while you're watching this, fucking get onto this Will Ospreay, lad.
Yeah, let's just remember real quick that both Dynamite and Collision, they both took place. Well, Wednesday took place in Asheville, North Carolina, where they did their Fight for the Fallen show, which is pretty much just raising funds for the Hurricane Helene victims. So if people are wondering like why Cope and FTR main evented, that's why. They both, like him and Cope and Dax, they live in Asheville, so they've been helping out with hurricane relief efforts the past few months. So I don't mind that Cope and FTR were featured in both main events of both shows. Like I could give them a pass in that regard. I maybe they were just more concerned of like, hey, let's put on a feel good show, with the hometown guys in the ring, and for a greater cause than that will sacrifice the TV product a little bit. But like you said, I think we have the gauntlet match coming up this week, which they don't miss on those. So I'm sure we'll get some I think we'll get some young wrestlers involved in that action as well. Jarrett's going to cut a 3 to 4 minute promo. It'll be good, but it won't overstay its welcome. So, but holy fuck, man, let's just I hope the damn discourse over Jeff Jarrett, man. Hey, you know what? Say what you want. 2025, he's still a valid talking point in the world of wrestling, whether you like him or not.
Like we were saying earlier, I hope he wins it now. Fuck him.
Yeah, why not?
Same.
Team Jarrett's all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into Forbidden Door with Jeff Jarrett as champion. I'll fucking take that. Yeah. Just to see all these whinging fucks. I mean, do you honestly think Jeff Jarrett is winning the world title? Fuck off. He said, as I said, he said he wants the world title, and he should do. Everyone on that roster should want the world title. If you don't, what are you doing there? And like the fact that we had a show on Wednesday where 6 wrestlers, that at least 6 anyway, made it quite clear their intent is that world title. That's what you want. The title feels like important now. It feels like it's everyone wants it. Everyone wants to be at the top of the tree rather than just one person at any one time wanting the title, which is stupid when you think about it.
Yeah.
That's it. We all want to be billionaires. Doesn't mean any of us are going to make it fucking happen.
Exactly. Like, I mean, everyone should weekly be banging on Tony's door. I want a title shot. I want a title shot. People shouldn't be happy just sitting there going, well, this feud's still going on for another 2 months. I'll just sit around in the mid card. No, They should be being realistic. They should want a title shot. Every one of them should want a title shot. They're not going to win. Jeff Jarrett is going to win. I'll take any bet anyone wants that he ain't winning that title. He's not winning any title. He's not even going to win the fucking TNT title, for God's sake. Why are people getting so angry about it? And what would be the problem with Jeff Jarrett getting a title shot and getting absolutely fucking destroyed? Because we can't have Jon Moxley against all the top guys every fucking week and them all losing, which is going to kill the credibility of some of these guys because they're not going to be being built well. So he's going to have to go through people who aren't in the mix to just pad it out a bit. So why not give Jeff Jarrett that little story of him, wanting that one more run, on his last contract before we then transition into whatever his retirement year is going to be.
Yeah, that's it. Literally, it makes no sense. People just are so fucking reactionary. It's like, think about it logically for 2 seconds. Like you said, Andy, he's not going to win the fucking title. It's just a cute story for his retirement year. It's
like all of a sudden now people are thinking that the Cope's going to be the one that takes the belt off Mox. Like, he may well be. I don't know, because he can still go, and he's a huge fucking name. He probably is a massive draw, but I don't think he is. I think he's going to have this little feud now. They're gonna make the most of rated FTR or whatever they're called now for a couple of months, which I don't want really, because I want FTR to turn heel. But whatever, they're going to make the most of this, and it's probably going to end with FTR eventually turning on Cope and leaving him on his own, which may hopefully somehow coincide with Christian being kind of, isolated with his group, and we then transition into a Cope and Christian run. And I actually do like the name Cope because it fits better with Cope and Christian than fucking, Adam Copeland and Christian, so.
You know what? A little history for wrestling fans. Back in 2010, when The Miz was the WWE champion, y'all realize that he had 2 championship matches against Jerry the King Lawler, right? I believe I forgot who I asked over the weekend. Like, I think Jerry the King Lawler was older at that time than Jeff Jarrett is now.
Oh, he must have been.
Yeah, I mean, so fuck off, man. It's happened before, and spoiler alert, the King didn't win the fucking title.
This whole thing that you started off there, Mark, with like the whole age thing. A lot of this comes from people pushing this whole, it's just old WWE guys. And that's something that fucks me off, the whole, it's ex-WWE guys. They weren't always WWE guys. A lot of these guys came from fucking Ring of Honor before, or fucking, various indie promotions. So, Cody fucking, had his biggest success in fucking AEW. Yeah, he was a WWE guy, but, he's been in a lot of other places. But for some reason, once someone's been in WWE, they're forever classed as an ex-WWE guy. I don't get that. Like Mox people, he's just another ex-WWE guy. Why is he not a fucking ex-CZW guy? Why do these guys always have this tag of WWE for life then? Not the fucking NWO.
Andy, tonight's main event on Monday Night Raw is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Both those guys were in fucking Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
They're both Ring of Honor alums. Man, look at the rest of the fucking card. Damian Priest, Ring of Honor. Cody, Ring of Honor, and AEW and New Japan and all that. I mean, you could go up and down the card of fucking WWE. AJ Styles, TNA, fucking LA Knight, like fucking TNA, Impact, NWA. Like they're the list of homegrown WWE talents who are at the top of the card is what pretty much just everyone in the bloodline for the most part. Well, the homegrown guys like Roman, the Usos, and Solo, but everyone else like Jacob Fatu, the Grills of Destruction, all those guys, majority of the WWE roster, they're not homegrown talent. They're ex New Japan or Ring of Honor or wherever the fuck they came from. But it only seems like that only applies to AEW talent, where they're stuck with that label forever.
It's mad. It is. It only applies. Like, I suppose it applies to TNA as well. To support TNA a little bit. Like, they had it for years, didn't they? People, TNA just signing WWE guys. But why is it wrestling? I don't get why they have this label forever. Whether they started there or just passed through there, then an ex-WWE guy. Like, just fuck off. Wrecks my head, man. Honestly, it does. It fucking wrecks my head. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was that way. You can't sign ex-player because he used to play for some other team. Because he's a fucking footballer. He's a fucking wrestler. He's going to wrestle places.
That's it. Like, the wrestlers, like, do you expect them to have never done anything but like, work for one company. As Brett said, half these guys came through fucking Ring of Honor anyway. So, do we just refer to them all as ex? Oh, why's WWE got all these ex Ring of Honor guys? And the whole young stars thing, fucking. While we're on this fucking moan here, the whole young stars thing, gotta make young stars. Fuck, why? Why do we have to make? What's the rush to get a belt on a young fella? I don't get it. Like, Hangman's only fucking 33. Swears what? 32, 33, something like that. Like, are they not young enough? Why? It's like everyone was like desperate. Why can't they get Daniel Garcia in the world title picture? Because he's not good enough yet. That's why. I'm sorry, but he's not. This desperation just to stick a belt on someone because they're young. Fuck off. I don't get why you want that.
I agree, mate. It's all based on merit. But then you look at it, you think they put the title on Swerve at 33. They put the world title on Hangman at 30. They put the world title on MJF at 26. They're not afraid to do it when they're ready, but doing it for the sake of doing it. And as you said, Daniel Garcia, there's every chance he's a future world champion. But at this moment in time, he's not there. So why rush it? Like, the guy is what? How old is Daniel Garcia? I'm going to hazard to say he's 28. I might have just completely thrown that out there, and I might be well and truly wrong in saying that.
Mid to late 20s.
He's 26. He's 26. Yeah. What is
no
the fucking rush
with him?
He's not a TNT champion, for fuck's sake. Yeah. He's got that second title.
Yeah, he's not a finished product, and the spot that he's in now is perfectly fine for him, especially with the fucking with the world title scene as it is right now. Like, Andy, you listed all the names. Like, there's no fucking rush to put Daniel Garcia up there any fucking time soon. Let him cook it with the TNT title for a little bit, however long it is, and just keep improving in that mid card scene. And when his time comes, he'll be better for it. Like, there's no fucking rush. With him right now.
And why do we care? Like, I mean, we're not the owners. We're not Tony Khan. Why should we care about what young stars they're prepping? I want to see fucking Kenny Omega on my TV every fucking week. I want to see Hangman on my TV every week. I want to see Christian Cage on the TV all the time. I do not give a fuck how old they are. Because all I want to see is the most entertaining and the best wrestlers on TV. Will Ospreay. Put him on TV every week. I don't care how old they are. The ones that entertain me are the ones I want to see. And I don't worry about whether they're going to be over the hill in fucking 2 years or, what the future's going to bring. Because that's not my job. I'm a fan. I'm not.
Liverpool. They're well clear at the top. They're 5 points clear. But should they really be playing Salah and Van Dijk at their age? Shouldn't they be like? Shouldn't they be starting Gakpo on the right every time and blooding in Kwanzaa in defence instead of Van Dijk? Fuck, it's madness.
Stupid. They're the best at this current time. I don't care whether they're too old or not.
I get these podcasts have got a lot of time to fill, and I appreciate that. Like, when it's a big source of income for them, they are going to waffle and they're going to be controversial and they're going to say things. But it feels that it's straight away, right. The ratings narrative is kind of dead now. We're really pushing it. Even the most desperately tragic accounts are going to find it really hard to keep pushing that agenda now, when we don't know how many people are watching it on Max and Netflix, and WWE are going to lie through their teeth. So even they are going to be hard pressed to push that. So what's the next thing? Let's be ageist, because they've had a week when they've shown a lot of old dudes. And again, like I've said, if it was every week, it's one thing. But this is two shows on a new platform when they're trying to bring new eyes in, and that was the decision they made to go that route. And again, it's just desperation. There's people they haven't got stuff. They know that the negativity breeds. They're struggling with the negative things. Like the crowds are balancing out at like 3,000 per show again, which is massively up when it was scraping 2,000 a while ago. The pay-per-views are always selling out. The pay-per-views are always really just brilliant. The roster's approaching full fitness again now. We're just Eddie Kingston and Danielson, really, I think, away from full complement. And they're probably running out of negative things to say. So this feels like something they'd bang that drum this week. Enough people have jumped on the bandwagon, and here we are discussing it ourselves.
I like why the fans why are they so determined to watch it? Like, I can't imagine watching, say, what good TV shows is this? Say imagine watching Breaking Bad, and then your main talking point was like, yeah, well, what's the production budget? Why they spent a bit much on this show? Like, I don't know why they're using this music. Like, no, fuck off. Just watch it and enjoy it. You are not running the show. You don't have to worry about these things. Why do you care how much whether Tony's going to be making money or not? Why do you care whether the fucking, whether the pay-per-view is going to fucking, do record buy rate. You shouldn't care. You should just watch it. If you enjoy it, great. If you don't enjoy it, don't fucking watch it.
A lot of rage, I think, comes from the fact now that they always just said, "Oh, he's just got daddy's money. Like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a nepo baby." Blah blah blah. Which, yeah, okay, fine. There's some substance to that. He's now signed an incredibly lucrative TV deal based on his own individual work and kind of no one else's, for better or for worse. And that will grate on a lot of people who one are just jealous of billionaires. Fuck billionaires. Yeah, exactly. Always fuck billionaires, but very jealous of billionaires when they probably struggling. And it probably really hurt people they got that TV deal, because even like bums like Bischoff and JD from New York, it would have killed them, because it would have really embarrassed their gimmick and their persona. And these people have got fragile egos, but they have a really unmerited high opinion of themselves. But then when it comes to your dickhead on Twitter and whatnot, it would have really it would have driven them crazy. That they probably wouldn't have been able to comprehend their own emotions because they're too fucking stupid. And it's looking for anything to bash them with. Anything.
I think, like you say, the dickheads on Twitter who get so invested in this, and because they're almost like, it's like supporting a football club for these cunts.
That's what they've got.
Yeah, they'll have been crying, but like Bischoff and JD, they will have known the TV deal was coming. They're just so full of shit. They don't believe half the shit that comes out of the fucking mouth.
Of course they don't.
For them, it's just staring up the fucking fan base, and it's staring up the listener base.
Bischoff definitely would have known. JD from New York. I think JD from New York is someone, if he did an IQ test, his IQ will come back at around 25 to 30. I think he's like a genuine moron. So I don't know if he knows anything, to be fair, but Bischoff knows exactly what's going on. Bischoff knows exactly who he's pandering to. Bischoff might be a lot of things, and he's senile, and he's definitely an arsehole, but he's not overly stupid.
He doesn't watch wrestling. That's quite obvious from anything he says. He doesn't watch it. And I think like I've said this before, but I think Josh Barnett said this in an interview, that he thinks the likes of Bischoff, they just look for shit takes on Reddit and then go with that for their talking points. And that's what he does, because he talks about things that haven't happened. Like, he'd be talking about something on Dynamite that didn't happen, but like he thinks it has. He doesn't watch it. He just goes out there with whatever he can and then tries to shill to make some cash.
Yeah.
I don't like it. We can't say he is stupid, because he's clearly fucking making a couple of, a few quid off just, idiot fucking knobheads out there who lap his shite up.
So just one quick point about Omega. Then I say let's move on to Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty. But just real quick on Omega. Mark, me and Andy, we and Mike, we talked about Omega, like how he should, his presentation for this year. Like I said, like, yo, get the golden shovel meme with Kenny Omega in the picture. Like, I don't want him doing no fucking jobs. I don't want him putting over any young talent. No favors, none of that. Like, shit. It should just be high ranking feuds going on here and there. You're not no more Joey Janela's, no more Sonny Kisses, like opponents of that caliber. The main event scene is as stacked as it's ever been. You can literally run Hangman, MJF, Jay White, the third match with Osprey, Kyle Fletcher, all in this year. Like, and he needs to run through all of them to an eventual title victory, whether it's the end of this year at full gear. I mean, to close out the year, or the beginning of next year. That should be the agenda, in my opinion. Like, it's time to fucking go. He's back on Wednesday. We'll see what tone he sets going forward, but whatever he starts, like, that's it. I mean, the match with Gabe Kidd will get into further detail going forward, but I think that's the agenda for Omega in 2025. Let's fucking go.
Literally, Kenny should just kill everyone.
The problem we got is that we already, like, I'm not one of these in favour of just let's throw storylines out the window just so we can get Kenny involved. Like, you have to make it work. Yeah. But I'm like, we have to, work with, I say we, fucking hell, I'm sounding like them knobheads on Twitter now. You have to work with what you have in place already, because I don't want any storylines just abandoned. We did that with Statlander. We pretty much did that to a certain extent with Cole and MJF, and I'd much rather make it work with what we have. So I as I said to you earlier, I want Kenny to give Hangman a slap, whether that's saving him, backing him up, pulling him aside and slapping him, or whether that's an eventual match. I think you suggested at Revolution, Brett, which I think would be good. and I need someone to slap the fucking, the stupidness out of his fucking head and get a face Hangman back, because I want Hangman to be the one that takes the belt. I don't care. I love Darby. I just have no interest in seeing him win the belt. For me, I want Hangman to be the one that takes it, but he can't do that until he's a face. And when he wins it as a face, we can then forget that this Pepsi experiment's ever.
Gotta watch the Pepsi out of my mouse. Yeah,
Hangman's winning the title All In.
He has to.
I'm sure of that.
He has to.
I had a Hangman winning it at All In as well. I had him still as a heel beating a face Darby at All In, like beating Darby for the title. Then to close out the year at Full Gear, I mean, you could initially you could have Omega and Hangman role reversal from 4 years ago at Full Gear. Omega comes in as the face this time and takes the title off of Hangman.
Interesting.
Yeah. You know what, Andy, at least we can agree. Like, listen, I wouldn't hate it if it was Hangman that, like a face Hangman that took it off of Moxley. Like, I wouldn't mind that, honestly. But it's good direction.
I love Darby. I just don't. I don't think he would do anything as champion for me at all. I'd much rather see him, in the high, the high angles he's in, but not really winning the belts. Maybe give him the fucking international title. Let him have a feud with. Let Takeshita throw him around for a bit.
All right, guys, we good to move on to Kingdom and Dynasty.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Like it's as we said earlier, I thought Dynasty was by far the best of the two. It's a fucking great show, to be honest.
Yeah, same here, man. I think Dynasty was a little bit better show. I mean, not saying that Kingdom didn't have its moments. I mean, the best matches on the card for me were Takeshita and Shingo. That was a good match as well. But Mayu and Azumi going like a full 8 to 9 minute sprint. That was good shit. I kind of wish that they gave him more time. Like, give him a good 12, 15-minute match, and that could have been up there for maybe best match of the night, at least for Kingdom, as far as I'm concerned.
No, yeah, it was a great weekend of wrestling anyway. Everyone's probably gonna have the same takeaway though, isn't it? That Kenny Omega just stole the show. The fact that he's back, the fact that he was able to perform at that level after having been out for so long, the fact that he even did a spot where he kind of his abdominal area was in bits and he couldn't lift Gabe Kidd up for the one wing angel. I thought that was great, playing on his surgery. I came out of that match thinking, oh my god, Kenny still is the best in the world. And that cunt who wrote a 4-page essay saying he doesn't move yet should put his head in the toilet and flush the chain 7 times.
Who was it that shit again?
Shit in it. It was that dickhead who does the essays every now and again. Remember the one who said Ospreay doesn't sell? He did one where Kenny doesn't move you. It's like, fuck you fucking Kenny Omega. Fuck off. Well, you could say that about anyone, but not Kenny Omega, man.
Did he say who does move him?
Oh, I can't remember. Some fucking Japanese dude from fucking 1982 or some shit. I don't know.
Some pretentious shit.
Yeah, and if you didn't like it, it's because you're illiterate and you didn't understand his writing, apparently.
Oh.
Cool. But no, sorry, I thought Kenny was amazing. And you talk about wrestlers that move you. That fucking match got me. I got so invested in that match because it's Kenny Omega. Everything he does has purpose, and we were saying before, cage match have gone nuts lately. I mean, some of the shit they're doing, the people on there, and it's not even trolling. They're just kind of like over the top in everything, overly dramatic. Like, I mean, from giving fucking Cardona Jericho 1s, which I'm sorry, it wasn't a fucking 1. Give it a 3 or a 4, maybe a 5, whatever. It's not a 1. So you have to show me a lot of fucking shit matches for me to pick something out that's actually a 1. Anyway, for this, it's apparently the 7th best match of all time, according to Cage Match. No, it's not.
It's 10th now.
There's a 10th now. It's gone. Okay, maybe it's even out.
It's 6.71. Kenny's got 6 of the top 10.
Well, to be fair, that's probably true, but there's no way this is in the top 10 either. It's not. No. It was a damn good match, but it wasn't in the top. It's not. And I said to the lads before, if Kenny has, say, 6 matches this year, if we're lucky and he stays healthy, say 6 pay-per-view matches, even 5, I'd say 5 of them will be better than this one as well. And he will probably do what Will Ospreay's done this year, a fit Kenny Omega where you'll basically have to give awards out now without Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay because they're not good.
Let's say this. Let's say now Kenny Omega has 6 matches in Big 2025. If he has 6 matches, who do you want those 6 matches to be against?
I got him for you. Not in particular order. Swerve.
Yeah.
MJF.
I want to see that. Yeah.
Yep.
Swerve. MJF. Jay White.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
Oh. Shelton Benjamin.
So he's going to have more.
Have they ever fought before?
I don't think so. I don't
think they have.
The archive. Yeah, I don't think.
I'm on Cage Match right now. I'm having a little look. Let me have a little look. Anyway, go on, carry on.
Research that one. So I've said Swerve, MJF, Jay White, Shelton Benjamin.
No matches.
No matches. Oh, that'd be a good one. Oh god, I'm trying to think. Do you run? Oh, Okada. Well, that's a given. Yeah. So
exactly.
That's
that's one where we say Hangman should win the belt at All In. That's where we should probably have Okada, Kenny Omega. Then, if that's the case,
and the 6-man would be Hangman. And I'll ask you guys this: do we hold off on the 3rd match between Ospreay and Omega till next year?
I think we have to. I think that should be when Ospreay. I personally would have that when Ospreay wins the belt. I'd have him beat Kenny Omega because it would mean so fucking much. It would mean so much to his title reign. The fact that he wins it off arguably the I mean, fucking hell, we change our mind on who the best of all time is every fucking week, don't we? But at the end of the day, it's Kenny Omega, it's Bryan Danielson. You know, those are 2 of the top.
Oh, fuck me, man! Like, damn, fucking Bryan Danielson. We listen
exactly. Shit, man.
The wrestling gods. The wrestling gods are shining upon us. Listen, if both men are back and 100% healthy this year, one of those 6 names take off the list. You can't mess around and kick it down the road because you never know what could happen. You know, one of them could get re-injured or hurt again. Like, if it is possible that both guys are healthy this year, we need the rematch this year between Danielson and Omega.
I reckon that we'll get that Forbidden Door. Because last year's Forbidden Door had 4 or 5 AEW exclusive matches basically last year. I think they'll do it then because they know that a London crowd will go, or a British crowd, should I say, a European crowd, whatever, will go fucking mad for that match.
Actually, on that, is that when Jeff Jarrett wins the title then? Because we'll go crazy for Jeff Jarrett over it. Jeff Jarrett against Kenny Omega. Let's go. Put Jeff Jarrett on the list.
Oh,
I have another one for the list. Sorry, Mike. I have another one for the list, and this is specifically because of a certain event. Give me Kenny Omega, Buddy Matthews next month.
Oh, you bastard! That's just honestly, I swear to God, I was just about to say that. That's my wild card match. I think we mentioned it before, you and I talking about it.
Yeah.
I would fucking love to see. I'd love to see Buddy Matthews get the opportunity to shine in such a match like that because he's fucking incredible. The most underrated bell-to-bell wrestler on the planet, in my opinion. He is fucking insanely good, and that match will just be honestly, it'll be so good.
It really was. And I've wanted that match for a while, so please it makes perfect sense. Grand Slam, Kenny Omega, Buddy Matthews, let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, what were you going to say?
I'll just quick, bit slow now, but for me, I would hold off on Will Kenny until the main event of All In 2026 for the world title.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, actually.
I
don't know how you get there because you'd have to have a few short runs, but ideally I'd have Kenny going in there as world champ as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of stuck on Brett's idea now. I quite like the fact that Hangman wins it, probably All In, but then you could I kind of like the face v face v heel element being switched, but then it could also work as a face v face. And Hangman loses it to Omega at Full Gear, and then Omega's run is that's what, if he wins it at Full Gear, that's an 8-month run till All In 2026. That's fine because that'll be his second title run. He'll never have another title run, so he can run through 4 pay-per-views in that time. There's enough big matches for him to have on pay-per-view that will be fucking brilliant that we'd want to see. There's a rematch with Hangman. There's a world title match with Okada. There's potentially a world title match with Danielson. There's a world title match with Takeshita in there that will be amazing by that point. Who knows who else might have ascended through that will be worth him having a match with. So yeah, I'm kind of you've kind of put that in my head now, but I'm going to be kind of thinking that's going to happen now and let down if it doesn't.
You know
Man,
what?
listen,
Takeshita, though,
just
that's
real.
another name in there because Don Callis all weekend on commentary was doing the making references to him being the one to beat Kenny Omega. He's the new number best wrestler in the world. All this all the stuff that he previously said. So that could be on the cards.
Well, then we could be looking at it. I mean, because by summer 2026, Takeshita v Ospreay could be the match.
Yeah.
That's over a year and a half away. There's enough time that could be the match by that point. Takeshi's 29, Ospreay's 31. So you're looking at a 33-year-old v a 31-year-old who have both been in the game long enough for them to be classed as like bona fide main eventers by that point.
Yeah, stick that in your fucking pipe, you balance.
There are so many options. Like
I was saying before there to Brett, because Brett was talking about the Kenny Omega. Mike was saying he'd like him as a face, but when Brett was posing the question, but I think Kenny Omega is way better as a heel myself. So I would like to see Hangman's face turn soon, so that when he wins the belt, we can have a Kenny Omega heel turn. And I don't care if it's treading old ground because it was amazing, and I'd see it again. And then you'd have a face Will Ospreay possibly taking the belt off a heel Kenny Omega.
It would be quite amusing when people that don't watch AEW will then start bemoaning the fact, you're just regurgitating the same story again. When WWE have been regurgitating their one story now since summer 2020.
You want to talk about in-ring storytelling? Like if we were to get the the match, like I suggested, Revolution between Hangman and Kenny. Like you want to talk about in-ring storytelling? What if Kenny just hits Hangman with a vicious V-trigger knee, like straight to the head, and then you just see Hangman just like all dizzy and loopy and whatnot, and of course gets hit again, and then boom, one-winged angel, 1, 2, 3, and then they follow Hangman to the back. One of those exclusive recordings that goes on Twitter or whatnot, and Hangman just doesn't say a word. It's just a blank, voided stare into the camera or just into space, and like what if that's like he's just having like an inner monologue with himself, like where he sees just his downward spiral, then just towards the end of the video he's like kind of snapping out of it in a sense.
No, I've got it, Brett. I know what they do. Exactly what you said there, but when Hangman goes down from the move, we use a bit of CGI or whatever. Hangman's fully clean shaven. He's all of a sudden back to the old Hangman. Who needs it to make sense? Let's just fucking do that.
Listen, whenever Hangman turns face, like I just hope it's in a big enough arena. When his original music hits,
yes,
the crowd is gonna fucking explode.
One of my favorite moments of all time from Dynamite was that ladder match when he turned up after he'd been out for a while after losing to Kenny, and he turned up and fucking hell, that was so good. And like
Hangman I was gonna say Hangman is the hero. Is the face that AEW needs. Like, I mean, and like you said, there's no Pepsi fill around anymore that would detour it. When he does win the title, like you said, if he is face, you know what? Now you're convincing me that I love Darby, but no, like let Darby come short at Revolution. Let Mox run a little bit longer. Like if it leads to us getting face Hangman Page being the one to take the belt off of Mox at All In, then that fucking crowd in Texas will explode, will blow up. I mean, you're in Texas, him arriving in on that horse, coming in the horse like into Globe Life Field. I mean, bro, that's gonna be fucking perfect.
And you know what? Like you could get some use out of, like, we were moaning the other week about like what's the point of the Dark Order anymore? They're just not needed. Get some use out of them. Towards that, you could have them fucking beat off some of the fucking, maybe Utah and feud with Utah and Pac or something, get to actually come in and help Hangman. And it wouldn't be amazing, but it would just add to that kind of like, that, how good it felt that first time, because it did. That first time when the Dark Order backed Hangman, it was brilliant.
John Silver just like smacking some sense into the cowboy. Like, that'd be fucking brilliant.
I do. It will take a concerted effort to make them feel relevant enough again for TV now, because they've been.
Yeah, I know.
It will take. I mean, it's not impossible, but it will take a lot of work.
Yeah, it would. They've just been kind of cast off to comedy Ring of Honor guys. Sorry, Mike.
Need to bring back -1. Bring back Brody, lad.
Fuck, I thought you said bring back Brody for a minute then. Fucking hell.
No, bring back Brody, lad.
I was going to say, if you're doing fucking WWE shit, that's the stuff. Okay, now.
No. I can't remember his name. -1, Brody's son. Let him be the one to turn Hangman face.
Could be, to be honest. That wouldn't be a bad shout.
You know, he's like all sad and disappointed and shit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad shout. You know, you need look. Look, it's not gonna be fucking Gone with the Wind. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of something to put him on track, and you know, yeah, people will pick holes in it, even if it's the best storytelling of all time. So just something. Get him on track, get him ready. And do you know what another match we didn't think of there when we're talking about Kenny? You might disagree. I'd like to see Kenny Mox again, because shit as the ending was to that death match. Go back and watch that death match without it's amazing. Go back and watch it without the sparklers, and it's fucking unreal. It's insane how good it is. Like, and it's a shame that the end has kind of like ruined it in a lot of people's minds, because it was a great match. I'm sure they'd love to fucking do a redo, you know?
Yeah. Well, even after that, I mean, they had a great cage match, you know, down the line when they faced each other again. I mean, yeah, they have great chemistry between those two, so I wouldn't mind another match between those two. I mean, those two can literally like fight forever. I mean, that was Kenny's like first feud in when AEW started. So yeah, I wouldn't mind a call back to that. But guys, like, listen, we could go on for like 2 hours talking about potential Kenny Omega opponents and feuds. So
should we do it?
You know, let's listen. Let's see how Wednesday.
I'm joking, yeah.
Let's see how Wednesday goes. Like, let's see what he says, and then we'll have more to go off on what the direction of Kenny Omega is going to be probably going forward. But yeah,
so
like,
let's go over Jeff Jarrett's possible. No, I'm only joking. That'll fucking make people cry.
Just before we move on, I've got a match. I think I'm the only person who wants to see this with Kenny, but I want Kenny versus Eddie.
Who was that?
Give me Kenny versus Eddie Kingston at some point.
Oh, Kenny Eddie, right? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
It's mad how long Eddie's been out, you know.
Yeah, it was ACL, but he underwent surgery in July, so it could be 9 months from then. So
yeah, didn't he have complications as well? I'm sure
it could be like, it could easily be Revolution. He's back. That could even be the earliest. By the way, the only time Eddie Kingston and Omega apparently have ever faced off was a tag match on Dynamite Blood and Guts 2021. Kingston and Moxley against Kenny and Nakazawa. Seems interesting.
Jesus
if that's
Christ.
Right. Unless I fuck that up. And, I've gone big on that before when I've typed stuff into cage match, been quite convinced by it, and then put it on social media, and then some clever dicks come out and humbled me quite soon. But yeah, that seems on both of their profiles. That's the only match, so that's kind of interesting. Not having that as a singles match seems kind of crazy.
So before we move on from Kenny, then, like, before we do you think he comes? He's back on his own, or do you think eventually the Bucks come back and we get the Elite back together?
I think we get the. I think there's one. Look, thing is, like, they've got to trade carefully with it. But yes, I want to see one more Elite run. I do, because it's what the company's fucking based on, and I'd like to see them have. I feel that like, considering the first 2 years and how fucking good things were with the Elite, the last couple of incarnations haven't hit the spot at all, and I'd like to see them given the chance to rectify that and give people the fucking feeling back or whatever. Like, I'd like to see them go out on a bang with one more like killer run, like, just like when them lot tell stories good, and like they're telling stories for adults in a kids environment. Essentially, they did, it was art in 2021. So I would definitely be up for that 100%. I want to have one more go at that.
Yeah, same. That's where I'm at. That the Kenny Hangman story is the best story I've ever seen in wrestling. Full stop. Nothing's come close.
It was brilliant. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was so good.
People fucking jizzing all over the bloodline. I'm sorry, that it's just not. You're talking about fucking CBBC there compared to like fucking HBO. You know, it's.
Hangman won the title on my birthday.
Was it?
What a birthday?
Yeah. Hangman won beat Omega Full Gear on my birthday, November 13th.
Class, man.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, we could go literally 2 hours talking about Omega Omega feuds and storylines. But as far as like going over Dynasty and Kingdom, I feel like we'll be here like probably too long, like going over every match. Like I say, maybe stick to the key points on like both nights, and we go from there. Like what stood out.
What one thing that has stood out and is going to have big implications, especially for us over on this side of the pond, is Mercedes. Mercedes is now she's now the Rev Pro champion as among the three other belts that she has. So she's at some point going to be. She's already putting the feelers out there on social media. She's going to be defending the belt on a Rev Pro show at some point, which is a fucking incredible coup for Rev Pro.
So just quick recap. So she got 4 belts. Obviously, she has the TBS title. She has the New Japan Strong Women's title. She has the Rev Pro title. Goddamn, what's the other one that she took from Mina? The Stardom.
No, it's not.
Oh fuck. I totally forgot.
You what, mate?
It's Southside Wrestling.
It is. That's the one. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
she's going to be Mercedes is going to be doing a few indie dates. Did anyone see that on the bingo card? Because I didn't.
No, man. You guys are gonna get lucky probably out there and go to a Rev Pro show.
Just for once, make it when it's not a show when Arsenal are playing. I want to go to Rev Pro when Arsenal aren't playing, and every time is when Arsenal are fucking playing.
I think that a few of the guys were talking about this before on the Discord, and I'm hoping it's going to be the Doncaster show because they're going to be doing 2 this year, and it's a great venue. But I think am I right, Mike, in saying that you were theorising that it could be the New Japan show, could be defended there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility, isn't it? The Royal Quest. But whatever, she's going to be on this side of the pond. Fingers crossed it's Doncaster because I'll 100% be going to those 2. So yeah, man, that'd be class.
Imagine Mercedes and man, fucking hell.
And hopefully Zack Sabre Jr. will start saying fuck Elon Musk as well as fuck the Tories now.
Mm-hmm.
Someone might saying the Royal Quest is February the 9th, Mike, is that right?
I'm not sure, let me Google it.
It's the rumor is that the first of the 2 Rev Pro Doncaster shows, the big ones, are March, and then the next one will be probably October or something again.
Is the Doncaster one? Is that the one they actually call Sheffield though? No, surely not. What date's the Doncaster one?
Sheffield is small. They haven't announced it yet. That's what I mean. It's just rumor. They basically said they're going to be doing 2 shows this year because like last year's, despite people moaning about tickets not selling, was a success. It's a great venue as well, and they're on about doing 2 there of the Global Wars. I don't know if they're both going to be Global Wars or if one will be different this time, but that was a fucking hell of a show, man. In Doncaster, we had Tanahashi, fucking Zack Sabre Jr., Gabe Kidd. It was fucking ridiculous. It was.
Some of the Rev Pro cards down the years are fucking insane. They have had so many cards that you look at the time, and maybe you don't realize at the time like what you're in the presence of, like when you look at how many people have developed from that. But they've had some of the most amazing cards over the years, man. Like cards outside of the main 3 or 4 companies, no one else has got near to putting on.
100%, and like the young lad that came on with us and chatted with Leon Cage, he's more or less a fucking mainstay on there now. He's been on most of the shows the last 6 months or so, 6 months, maybe 4 months, whatever. But he seems to be on there quite a lot as well. Jay Joshua, Connor Mills, Oku obviously is a fucking mainstay there. They're getting Ricky Knight Jr. They've got some fucking great talent there that they kind of pad in with some of the extra talent that they're bringing over. It's fantastic.
Yeah, give me Mercedes versus Lizzie Evo.
Yeah, but that's one people have mentioned. Your Kanji. Kanji would be a fucking great match for her. Danny Luna has said that that's her belt. She wants it back because she lost it to Mina. Obviously, Osprey's missus, whatever she. Fucking mind's gone blank. What's her name now? Alex Windsor said she wants it. So there's a queue of really good women's wrestlers who want a shot there.
Look at this main event. Listen, this Rev Pro main event. Sorry, Kenny and the Bucks against Swerve, Leo Rush, and the late Ryan Smile. That's fucking I love it. There's the most amazing matches on these shows over here.
I know, man. He does it. They did a great. Andy from Rev Pro was interviewed by Trish from the Trish and Sarah podcast last 2 weeks ago, whatever. And it's a really good listen, actually. So some pretty good questions, and you should give it a listen. He's done wonders there, to be honest.
It's amazing that like seeing after Mercedes beat Mina now has 4 belts that it's just the typical and people who are pissed off at Mercedes for having all the belts. But it's funny. I say like all the unnecessary hate that she gets. Like like there's this. I think there's a saying that hate will blind you from what's right in front of you, from seeing what's right in front of you. And people don't understand like her accumulating this belts. You're just building up whoever's the one to eventually take her down to pin her for the first time. And in my opinion, the vision is very clear who that's gonna be. That's gonna be Athena. That's gonna be at All in Texas. Because I've said it many times before, it wasn't an accident that you had both Mercedes and Athena at that opening press conference for the All in Texas announcement, and that's the vision right there. And I think they could and that they should main event the show as well, because it's just going to be that big of a deal, and you're going to make Athena that much bigger of a star when she's the one that eventually takes her down. So if people can't see the clear vision with Mercedes accumulating these titles, then I don't know what to tell you. But even before All In, Andy, like you said, you just listed off what half a dozen names who are lined up for challenging her for the Rev Pro title, and then she's gonna.
And that's outside of AEW as well. I mean, the challenges there for the TBS are going to be, she's got some incredible matches that she can have lined up.
Exactly, and you know what? I'll throw an odd name out. Well, not an odd name, but one for like just a one-off TNT challenger. Ty Conti just came back. I mean, dude, I think her and Mercedes can have a damn good match. Between us, because I know Ty's been out for a while, but dude, I remember her. Like, dude, she can fucking go. She's a good striker, good submission wrestler herself. So I think that'd be a fun little one-off that you could do it maybe at like a Dynasty or Double or Nothing show, just kind of like a filler match, in between the big shows. Like, but yeah, I mean, the matches she's gonna have in 2025 between AEW, Rev Pro, New Japan Strong, I mean, are just gonna be fucking insane, man.
And all these cunts out there calling the fucking Hulk Hogan, like, people throw out Hulk Hogan for everyone now if they fucking win. Well, not even if they win, because they were throwing it out for fucking Jericho when he was losing every fucking week. Like, I don't understand why. Do people not remember what the Hulk Hogan thing was? The guy didn't lose a fucking match for like probably about 4 years. He destroyed the prospect of a fucking union for wrestlers. The guy was completely different than any of these people. If you look at any of the people who work with Mercedes, they say that she does everything to fucking help them and everything to put them over. Her big aim in matches is to make people look good. She's not like just winning and then running around going, "Oh yeah, Tony booked me to win no matter what." She'd probably happily lose, but it doesn't fit. Why would you take these belts off Mercedes? She's the biggest women's star in North America. Why would you? Who would benefit at the moment from her losing? I mean, Statlander's just come off 2 losses from it, and she's arguably in the best position she's been in her career. And the third match down the line is clearly going to be fucking when she wins. It's just not like it does nothing. It does nothing for anybody losing right now. So all these people, shut the fuck up with the Hulk Hogan comparisons. There really isn't anyone like Hulk Hogan, to be honest. In fact, if you want to compare someone to Hulk Hogan, you're probably looking at closer at the Pepsi fella.
Oh man. But yeah, I think overall good match between Mina and Mercedes. They got plenty of time. I think it went well over. I think it went between like maybe 15, 16 minutes. But I think all the women this past weekend at both Kingdom and Dynasty showed out pretty well. I mean, going back to Kingdom, like the Azumi and Mayu match, like that was like an 8-minute sprint. I wish they would have gave them as much time as they gave Mercedes and Mina. But holy shit, did they do the most with the time that they were given? I mean, the trading of the German suplexes between them were fucking brutal, like just as high angle as possible, like fucking brutal. I mean, yeah, just such good shit between both women. And then you even go to the Women's Cup, the four-way match between Willow, Willow, Athena, Persephone, and Momo. Like, well, let me ask you guys, like, how shocked are you that it was Athena that was the one to take the pin from Momo in that match?
Yeah, well, I was at the time, but looking at the fallout now, it actually kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because they're now lining up another match, aren't they? Now for is it this month? Later on this month? I think it's, in fact, is it next week?
I think it's the 13th against Tekla. I think so it's Tekla, but also just keep in mind, since Momo won the four-way, she has the right to choose any champion for any promotion for a title shot. I'm sure she's gonna pick Athena, so I'm sure we're gonna get a one-on-one match between Athena and Momo down the line. But I mean, first off, I don't, did you see the post press conference interaction between Athena and Tekla?
Yeah, I did.
Like
Yeah.
that shit was fucking good. I mean, it's crazy to think that this is Athena's first time, like her first tour in Japan, but holy shit, she fits right the fuck in. I mean, she's clearly doing the best work of her career, and I think her and Tekla are gonna have a great little match on the 13th.
Well, she started off earlier as well, didn't she? Like when she was coming out and she stuck the Minion t-shirt on her, like, "Yeah, you're just a minion," and and then she was like, "What the fuck? Get this shit off me!" So like it was kind of laying. You can kind of see something was going to happen between them at that point when they were coming out. Was it the day before? It wasn't for the match, was it? When she was it?
No,
the match?
I
Or was
don't
it the
think
press
no.
conference? It might have been the press conference. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Can't
think it was
remember
the press
now.
conference. Yeah.
It's all merged into one. But yeah, when she was sticking the Minion t-shirt on her, you were like, "Okay, this is going to go down."
Yeah, but you know, that was a fun little four-way, and yeah, I need to see more Persephone from CMLL in the future. Like shit, she's a fucking beast. That's the great thing about watching these cards, these kingdoms and dynasty shows. Like, you become fans of like so many wrestlers that you didn't even know were a thing. Like, I mean, because to start Dynasty, the opening match was the 8-way Lucha Gauntlet match. Like that was fucking fun. I mean, the guy I come off a fan of was the Bone Collector Ishimori.
Yeah.
Yeah, his fucking that mask and hat combo. Like, I need that shit. Like, whenever we do go live, like I hope I can like purchase that somehow and go live with that shit. That shit was fucking dope. And goddamn, my favorite spot was when Desperado came out last in the gauntlet. You had all the other 7 guys in the ring waiting for him, and Desperado was like, "Ah, shit," and he just got fucking like taken out by everyone, like one by one by one. I think that was a dope, cool spot.
I'm a big fan of Masquerade. I think he's fucking class. He was at Global Wars as well. Some of the shit that he was doing in that match was just fucking insane.
Yeah, that was
man.
To be fair, everyone in that match was fantastic.
Yeah, but Mascara Dorada, I think like, yeah, I mean, like Love Commander, like he does some crazy shit on Dynamite Collision, but then you see Dorado, I'm like, oh man, we would love to see get those guys in the same ring like as soon as possible.
Was he the one that someone photoshopped on a match with Takeshita for the international title, and everyone thought was real?
Yeah.
Oh man, that would now everyone was getting excited over that because it would be a fucking banger of a match. That.
Well, that was it when it came out afterwards. Like AEW seen it and they were like, "Oh shit, we have to make this match at some point."
Yeah. That fucking Titan as well, man. He's fucking class. He was another one in that match that I've seen before. He was incredible.
Yeah, another one.
If we talk about the whole event, we'll just be a fucking ever. So we should probably just summarize the rest of it and then go on to the because we got quite a lot of questions, didn't we? For this week. What else happened? What else was big happened? We had Takeshita win. He won 2 nights in a row. Now he's the what championship did he win? Was it the
never open weight?
Yes.
Championship. So,
and
also Yeah, and also don't forget it's coming out that he also signed a contract with New Japan, so he's going to be doing both AEW and New Japan going forward.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's what I was going to say there. So now he's signed to DDT, AEW, and New Japan. So he's going to be the international title. Couldn't be on a better person, to be honest. All things
Yeah,
considered.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for those of you that don't know, the Never Openweight title is essentially the meat title in New Japan. It's the bad motherfucker belt.
It's fucking hell, he's a
Oh,
bad motherfucker, isn't he? Fucking hell. And we had Ricochet against Zack Sabre Jr. So Ricochet, who left WWE, having been on a few speed matches, and apparently was going to be buried and lost in the shuffle. Now main evented the Tokyo Dome. So well done, Ricochet.
I
Some
mean,
fucking burial, that, innit?
yeah, I mean, shit. If that's a burial, shit, bury me, man. Bury me 6 feet
Exactly.
under. Fuck.
Like he's
I-
currently the most interesting he's ever been in his career, and he main
Yeah.
evented the Tokyo Dome this week. So for all the people who were saying he was going to get buried and lost in the shuffle, yeah, you might want to fucking, look at something else that you'll talk about something else, because you know fuck all about wrestling.
You're looking pretty stupid right now.
Yeah. What did you think of the main event from Kingdom with Shota and Saber? Like, I mean, what was it 45 minutes and wound up going?
I thought it was all right. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of people seem to online, but I don't know. A lot of the discourse I've seen online seems to be people who were more not hating it, but just like expected more, if that makes sense. I thought it was all right myself. I thought it played into the story. It was always going to be more, story based, and yeah, it wasn't as good as the following night's main event, but it was decent,
That was good.
Maybe I'm just easily pleased.
I think it suffered from. It seemed to be because obviously what happened in the junior heavyweight match with
Yeah,
the injury. I think they put
yeah.
that time onto the main event.
I think you're probably right there, Mike. I think it probably did.
Yeah, and I think it suffered because of that. Like, don't get me wrong, before anyone says in the comments, I know New Japan main events are typically longer, especially the Tokyo Dome, but I do think that was the case of what happened there. And as you know, is a common narrative in the internet wrestling community. I think Shota isn't ready for the spot he's in right now. I think he's solid, but he's not a main eventer.
He slowed down a lot for me. His progression is really fucking. He's not where everyone expected him to be 2 years ago, if that makes sense. He's not progressed to the level like people thought he would. So yeah, I don't think he's ready myself at all. I think it's the same as if you were to stick someone like Jack Perry in the main event now. He's nowhere near ready. It's just not time, and it would be shit. So for me, Shota needs to be kind of drop down a few spots for a while.
He's one for me that would probably benefit from an excursion to AEW for a prolonged period of time.
Probably.
He's 27 as well, man. He's still young.
I know,
he's
yeah.
very, very
Exactly.
young.
I think the problem I like from the way I see it was that with New Japan losing a lot of stars over the last few years and kind of suffering, there's a bit of a downturn in business. I think they pinned too much hope on him. Because I don't think anyone got the feeling that Zack Sabre Jr. was going to be the one, did they? Like this time, 18 months ago, everyone seemed to think they were going to be going with trying to go with a Japan guy, and he was the one a lot of people mentioned as being the future, but he just didn't. He wasn't ready, and he just didn't progress in the time they really wanted. So yeah, they should take the time with him. They've got a lot of other guys there, Stick fucking Yota Tsuji in his spot, man. He's fucking brilliant.
That's it. Like, there's problems with Gato as a booker. I think he's failed in preparing the next generation, what's currently this generation, to take over from the likes of Okada and Ospreay, and it's really showing now.
I think that combined with the fallout from COVID I think
Definitely.
they didn't handle COVID at all well, and I think that with that, the two things combined have really kind of kicked them a little bit. But look, I think they're on the up. I think they're on the other side of it myself now. So whether Shota takes a bit longer, I'm sure he'll get there eventually. But I think Zack Sabre Jr. is a great champion. I think he's the man you want there. He can wrestle anybody, that fucker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could pick. Sorry.
So I was going to say, after this weekend, you probably got Gabe Kidd 2 or 3 levels above where he was.
Yeah, definitely. He got as Kenny said, he's got the Kenny Omega touch.
We shall see. We shall see. I don't know if you guys want to touch on this real quick, but I don't know if you saw the news earlier today about Chris Charlton being put on an indefinite hiatus for his commentary during the Dynasty show.
You see, Sean's come out while we've been on air. Sean's come out and said it's a 2-month suspension.
Yeah, and I also seen that people were saying it was New Japan who were really unhappy with it, not AEW, because everyone's out there trying to blame Tony for it. Tony's so soft. Tony probably doesn't give a fuck. Apparently New Japan were the ones who were not happy with it, and it said the New Japan locker room. So whether that's wrestlers or whether it's fucking Tanahashi or anyone, it seems like it's that side that weren't happy with the way he portrayed. Because look, they've got a really good working relationship. And I'm sure New Japan don't want, their strongest partner being, perceived to be being shit on by themselves.
No.
Well, in Japanese culture, it's literally a sackable offence to discredit your business partners.
At the end of the day, I thought it was storyline anyway. I thought it was storyline, and it may well go down that route if they've got any sense, because,
There was a point I like hearing the commentary. There was a point like listening to it. It did get a little weird when he started going about like, oh, he's a money mark, and then like when he made that comment, I'm like, and then discrediting the the C2, and yeah, like when he started comments like that, I'm like, I don't know, man, you're kind of, how do you say, you're kind of tiptoeing on that line right there, like, are you working us, or is like, are you shooting from the hip right there,
But at the end of the day, the C2 comments, I need that gif of Bobby Fish, because like, where's the lie?
Yeah, but maybe just the money mark. Didn't he also make comments about the New Japan guys going to AEW? They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I'm like,
maybe it's mates with Effie. He's throwing out the money mark stuff there. I'm surprised he didn't talk about his dad.
Yeah.
Anyway, questions. Should we get to questions? Because we're in. The first one from the Discord here, we got CJ1990, who's asked what we thought of the Wrestle Kingdom 19 main event. I think we just spoke about that, so we've kind of answered that, haven't we? Then we have Sarah, who says she hasn't listened to last week's yet, but we would be interested in our thoughts about how we would, if we should, and how we would pivot the Mox story to Kenny. What do you think?
Oh, there's so many layers to that. That could go. There could be a short answer that you say, right, the Elite are coming back soon. But I still feel that they can. Maybe it's his blind faith now. I don't know, but I still feel ready to be invested in the Death Rider storyline. But again, like the end of Collision was the quintessential issues that the storyline's got, like tying them up and then kind of running away. It was just a bit weird. I still have faith in this storyline, but they need to move very, very quickly because I'm running out of excuses for it. I think that there's only a few layers before we get to Kenny Omega, personally.
I think the same, to be honest. I want to see something added to it to give it a bit of a bit more of a fucking bite. But I wouldn't just throw Kenny in there. Yeah, I would. I've already said what I'd do. I'd have Kenny slap Hangman about a bit. What are you doing? Why are you letting people? Why you're acting like this? Why you being a dick? Knock Hangman back into a baby face. Maybe have them two wrestle, and then have Hangman win the belt while Kenny beats the shit out of the rest of the Death Riders. Before we then go to, as Brett suggested, we then go to Kenny Hangman. So for me, I wouldn't pivot. I would just go with it.
Yeah.
And, have Kenny
stay the course.
What about you, Brett? Just stay the course, yeah?
Stay the course. Kenny hits Hangman with a magical V trigger, gets him out of this evil state of mind. Then we get face Hangman. The world rejoices. Happy days.
We have a question for. What about you, Mike? You there?
Okay, stay the course.
Yeah, stay the course. We have a question from Jamildo2 in the Discords. Is Kenny coming back as a vicious heel? I don't think so, but I hope he is eventually there because I prefer him as a heel, to be honest. But I think
Eventually,
he's coming back.
they need that top babyface on TV every week at the moment, though. They need, do need to stack that side of things a bit more. So, I mean, I agree. I think he does turn eventually. But I think there's a good, I don't know, let's say 4 to 6 months of face before he turns.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah, at some point we get a heel Omega run, but not to start out. I mean, the good feelings are out now, with him coming back, so you can ride that wave for a bit of time, but yeah, eventually we get heel Omega.
At the end of the day, who's going to boo Kenny Omega if he comes back? Well, when he comes back, nobody's going to boo him unless you've got a fucking Roman Reigns profile picture
and a CM Punk.
Yeah, fucking. What about you, Mike? Heel or face?
Oh, face definitely. Like Mark said, the lack of baby faces.
Especially when Orange Cassidy turns, which I'm still going to be pushing forever because it needs to happen.
It needs to happen, man.
We have our man Dunner3. He says, what do you think of all this nonsense of suddenly ripping up a perfectly good storyline just because Omega is back, even though nobody has a clue what Kenny's plans are? That we just answered that, haven't we? You don't.
We've answered that, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Aaron. Aaron's thrown a few questions in here, man. When do you think the trio champs are going to be defended? The trio belts are going to be defended?
Oh, that's a good point. It's fucking been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think they've forgotten about it, to be honest.
That's bad. We've had. I mean, I don't even know the last trios titles defense. All I know is that how many tag title defenses have Private Party had? 2 tag title defenses, right?
That was his next question. He has 2 questions.
So
Should Private Party drop it?
They're valid points because it's a bit of a fucking shit show. If I'm being perfectly honest, in terms of just how I'm just having a look now. So the last time there was a trios title match was on November the 7th. So 2 months ago, they beat the Conglomeration on Collision. And then it was a month before that on Collision. They beat Action Andretti in Top Flight. Yeah, it's not good. 10 title defenses last year.
I don't think they lose until Revolution myself, but it's ridiculous.
Just scrap them at this point, honestly.
What if they lose them to Kenny in the book?
I think they're losing to Rated FTR now. Now they don't look like we're going to get the heel turn that we've so yearned for from FTR that they need.
If they do that means we're stuck with fucking Rated FTR.
I know.
Oh man, no, not unless Cope's going to turn. But then again, that won't work with the way it is. I'd like a Cope turn actually because it makes Christian and Cope.
That's all I want. The only thing that will have me invested properly in Adam Copeland now. Sorry, Cope just feels. No, we've always called him Cope. Fuck it. Now it's official. It feels weird. The only interesting thing for me with Cope is he'll run with Christian. I'm invested in that. There's nothing else I'm interested in seeing him do. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's that or bust for me.
I don't know because I was really enjoying the stuff he was doing. It was new. I felt like that until he came back, and then when he started doing, I was like, oh fuck, I am actually interested in this.
But I was interested in it. When he was doing the Cope Open, that worked. But the only way I can get invested in like that again is if he just kind of replicates and does exactly what he was doing before. That's the thing.
I thought he was going to turn heel with the Malachi Black stuff, to be honest, before he done his leg. I thought that's where it was going.
That was the plan.
Yeah, because he was almost like the rest of the House of Black were kind of coming over to him almost, like he was going to take Malachi's spot, and I thought that would have played it perfectly to Christian, but yeah.
I mean, don't get it wrong. His run before his match with Malachi was fucking brilliant. His match with Kyle O'Reilly was great. I think it was just before that he had a match with Brody as well. It was all in the space of a couple of weeks. I think and that was a fucking great little run. It was really, really good. And it was a shame it ended the way it did. And the only way I think I could be invested in him again in the singles run. Is if you basically just go back to doing that again. If he's going out having quick fire bangers every week, like on Collision, I think they felt like they were on Collision as well. A few of their matches. I might be wrong in saying that they might have been on Dynamite. But it did feel energized. It felt refreshing. You either go back to that or you turn him heel and you put him with Christian sooner rather than later for me. Like definitely before Dynasty anyway.
How about we drop the belts to Rated FTR, and then the Hurt Syndicate take them off Rated FTR down the line with either Bones and Caster and Shelton, or Shelton, Lashley and Ricochet.
Again, I'm not sure who I read it somewhere. Someone said like Lashley's contract should solely be you're here to elevate Swerve. That's what you're here to do. That's the primary source of your employment here is to elevate Swerve. I don't want to see Lashley in a title scene. I want to see him lose to Swerve, and then I'm happy to see him in trios matches.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mind him in the trios if he was with kind of Shelton and Ricochet.
Shelton and Bowens, that's great. That's a strong. I'm definitely down for that. I think that's the perfect way to use them, and I think that sounds like a good thing. Rated FTR can win it. That can be quite a short reign, and the Hurt Syndicate take them off them, and then they can hold them for fucking ages. That seems like the next 6 months sorted out quite comfortably in a way that we'll care about them as well.
I'm still convinced Ricochet is going to end up in the Hurt Syndicate with and going back to what you said about Swerve, and that the end game is Swerve against fucking 4-5 guys, however many this Hurt Syndicate stops her.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Trios? You said retire them, Brett. Yeah.
Scrap them, man. Throw them out.
Yeah.
But when they were good, they were really fucking good. The issue, again, this now comes to the fact you've got 4 hours of TV time, which 4 hours of TV time, when you've got this roster, it simply isn't enough. And there's no two ways about that. I think that you've got to hold tight and see what happens with Ring of Honor, see what happens with this shockwave in the next couple of months. And if they come to fruition with TV deals, then you suddenly do have the airtime for these things.
As we've said about Shockwave, though, I don't think you can kind of transit. I think you have to have some kind. I don't like them, but you have to have some kind of split for Shockwave, just because if it's going to be on Fox, or would you assume it's going to be a lot more, restricted in terms of what they can do and who they can.
That's very true, yeah.
So you can't kind of just use the same talent to it, unless the talent are willing to, go down to PG once a week.
You got to love Fox. They'll sit there and endorse a rapist and insurrections, but no, you can't use a bit of fake blood on TV.
Anyway, the next question he had was, should Private Party drop their tags to the Outrunners at Revolution? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. Yes, the Outrunners are at All In or Revolution. Anyway, yeah, is the answer. So we all agree that, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I think there's someone in between. I want the Outrunners to win it off of a heel team, because I think that adds more drama to the moment rather than them being.
That's why we want heel FTR, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It made perfect sense, and then we still could get that. Like if they want to make Cope and FTR a short-lived thing where they're going to go after the they could win the fucking trios title sooner. They could win the trios titles at Grand Slam, and then their split could happen at Revolution, and then FTR. I mean, FTR should turn heel. They're much better heels. Them and Edge should just be heels on their own, in their own device. Let them have this cute little 2-month thing, because they've obviously got it in their heads. They want to do this. Let them do that. Get that out of their system, and then they should crack on with things that probably suit them a lot more at this stage of their careers, which is Christian and heel FTR, probably with the Death Riders.
And his last question was, who do we think is going to be in the gauntlets and who's winning? It's a bit of a fucking loaded question. Jeff Jarrett, baby, yeah.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know who's going to win it, and I think that's fucking great, because they could end up really stacking this quite heavily, and so I'm quite interested to see what they do with it.
I think they will, and I think it ties in really, hugely into last week's show where we had 6 people saying, "I want that fucking belt."
Wait, it's for a title shot the following week, isn't it?
Yes.
It could be Jeff Jarrett then.
Can you just give it Jeff Jarrett?
That Dynamite the week after is being held in Cincinnati, and it's got a maximum carnage thing. So to be perfectly honest, no, I think Darby Allin comes out, and I think Darby Allin wins the gauntlet, and then it's Darby Allin v Mox, and they'll probably end up having it as a no holds barred. It's a very small area. I mean, it's sold terribly so far in Cincinnati. They never sell well there. But the thing is, it's just very small. It's kind of like there's a Hammerstein like feel to it with like the little tiers. There's a lot of things that Darby Allin can jump off. Like, like genuinely, like I had a little look at the setup of the venue because it's a lower tier. Then there's like, it's more like Jackson's Daly's place, to be fair, with a couple of tiers, and they've sold out the middle tier. They've not opened the top tier, and the bottom tier is really expensive. And they've sold about 20% of those tickets so far. But there's definitely things that I think Darby Allin wins. I think Darby enters last. Darby gets the win, and then you have that match then. And man, Darby can even win, and then Christian cashes in. I don't even know. Probably not, but it'll probably be a brutal match because Maximum Carnage. Jeff Jarrett v Moxley doesn't feel like a Maximum Carnage subheading. Darby Allin v John Moxley feels like that. And again, it's a way to bump a quick rating as well, because if it's a world title match of that significance on TV, people will probably be interested in it. Oh well, anyway.
Well, if the IWC has the way, it'll be fucking Kenny Omega and he'll win the belt next week.
Oh, imagine.
I wouldn't give
Darby
that
Allin,
either, to be honest.
Darby Allin, if Darby Allin wins this gauntlet on Wednesday, I would actually think they can actually do a title change on that following Dynamite then. Like Darby, Christian, or Moxley, any of those three could leave that show as world champion, and none of it would. I wouldn't completely write it off. Like, I knew Mox was winning at Full Gear. I knew Mox was winning at World's End. This is one that I actually would feel a little bit more. I wouldn't put money on it, basically.
It just the only worry I'd have with it is it would kind of kill off the Death Rider storyline. Yeah, what if what we're talking about nearly having a fully fit roster? What if Bryan Danielson returns in the gauntlet?
Oh, could you imagine?
That would be fucking immense.
Final
countdown hits.
They've done an amazing job with these new venues. Like, they've used some original venues. Again, having a venue last week, it's got only had 3,500 in there, but it basically means that 75% of the available seating is filled up, which makes it just a lot easier on the lighting and whatnot. They've gone back to the fucking stupid prices though.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah.
Like, I looked earlier because there's a lot of seats left for this one tomorrow. It's a very small. Like, even if they fill it up, it's 3,000 in there. Like, all the tickets that are left, and there's quite a lot left. They're still like $80. I'm like, you should be having them at $30 when you're like 48 hours out.
I don't get why. Like, people blame Ticketmaster for this. Like, is it Ticketmaster or what? Because it's stupid. It happens all the time. Like, and to the point where, as we've discussed, I ain't buying a fucking ticket now until the fucking day of the event next time.
Forbidden Door, because Forbidden Door, I'm assuming it's going to be at the O2. I'm not going to go near it on the pre-sale. I'm going absolutely nowhere fucking near that show until, again, obviously, if I go on and they've sold 17,000 out of 20,000, I'll panic and buy it straight away. But if they realistically sell 7,000 or 8,000 on the first day, I'm just going to sit there and just keep waiting, playing a bit of blind man's buff. Suddenly, if the tickets start really going, I'll check it every day. When the tickets start going, I'll buy one. If not, I'm just going to wait until, as you said, I'll wait till the week of the event. And I know that the tickets that I wanted that were 150 quid will be 30 quid.
Same. It's fucking stupid. I ain't getting paid.
I don't know who is to blame with it, but when I looked at the ticket price, I had a little look earlier on, even when we were chatting, I was like, because I'm a bit surprised, considering it's Kenny Omega, considering we've got a casino gauntlet, like that's fucking automatically, I'm like, you stacked that. I'm really surprised at how many seats are still available for it, considering it's a single tier place as well.
And so the next question we had was another one from Jamildo too, who says, what role will the Young Bucks have? Are they staying off screen for a while? I think they're staying off screen for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, staying in Japan.
Yeah, I think they will for a bit. We have CJ1990 again with another Rev Pro related question. I probably already asked this ahead of the year end stuff, but I think Oku Ospreay was one of the best matches that I've seen in 2 years. As other end of year awards are done, it might be worth looking at anything great again that you may have missed due to being Indy or Mexico. We probably should have done a best indie match in our awards, shouldn't we? But we can look at that next year. We'll remedy that next year, because I think Oku Ospreay or the Zack Sabre Jr. Hechicero match would probably be the two for me anyway. So it wouldn't really. I can't really think of much out that again.
Oku Ricky Knight Jr.
Oh, I thought that was good, but it wasn't Oku Ospreay level.
Yeah, I went there though. For once I was there, Oku Ricky Knight Jr.
We have Punish Badoof, who says you can make one change to either Wrestle Kingdom or Wrestle Dynasty, but not to the semi or main events. What do you do? My change would be Jeff Jarrett winning the belt, the AEW belt. I'm serious. I would have done that just to fuck everyone off. Imagine the fucking crowd if Jeff Jarrett won. They beat John Moxley in Wrestle Dynasty.
I would have had Brody beat David Finlay.
Oh, that's a good shout actually. It couldn't be too greedy though, could they? Fucking hell.
AEW took the fair share of losses over them 2 nights, to be fair.
Yeah, it was quite fair to be honest for everyone who says that AEW are the only ones that ever win. But we'll just have any of you guys got anything else to add to that?
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay, but the last question from the Discord was Serve, and it was pretend Kenny could become the main scout for Joshi, and also was to build relationships at AEW to build better relationships with list of promotions. How good could they be for AEW? Fucking, I think Kenny is a scout for these fucking. He's got Tokyo, Japan, Dragon Gate, DDT, Sendai. I think Kenny would be an amazing scout, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The man knows his shit. I mean, if you had Kenny and Brian Danielson as your talent scouts around the world, I think you'd get the best of everyone.
Yeah, same here. I agree with that.
I think Brian would probably do what William Regal's been doing for the WWE for so long, and not being a snake. I mean, actually scouting some good talent. And I think Kenny would do the same for the for the kind of Japan side of things. I bet you anyone would fucking follow Kenny as well, man. He's a fucking absolute god, isn't he? That press conference he did the other day was so fucking good. Like, people throw aura around for Roman Reigns. If there's a man who has aura, it's Kenny fucking Omega when he's in Japan.
Yeah,
Kenny has natural aura. Roman Reigns, we're told, has aura. So like we're force fed we're force fed a Roman Reigns aura. To be fair,
Couldn't have said it better, to be honest. That's exactly what it is. When Kenny speaks, you kind of like, oh fucking we are wow. We go.
It's very much like it's like the Clash, isn't it? It's the AEW is the public want what the public get, and WWE is the public want what the public get. I think I said that right. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they're the lyrics for London Calling.
The public get what the public want, and then
the public get what the public want is AEW, and WWE is the public want what the public get.
Yeah, exactly.
They get what they want and they enjoy it, and they will enjoy it even if they don't enjoy it, kind of thing. But yeah.
Well, that's all the Discord questions anyway. Did you have
I chucked one online. I got a few. I won't go through all of them because some of them will waffle, and I think a lot of them actually are generated from that stupid fucking app. Like, who's your best friend? Like, fuck off. Like, no one cares who my best friend is. So these, like, some of them are a bit more like high, so we can get through them. But as they've taken time, I think it's good to get through them. Now the NFL regular season is over. AEW pay-per-views will be returning to Sunday night instead of Saturday. How many hours sleep is too little before a Monday morning shift? This depends on your age for me. When I was younger, in my 20s, 3 to 4 hours. Now it's I'm going to be fucked if I sleep under 5 hours, I think.
If it's only one day, it doesn't really matter. One day.
Yeah, as long as you've got a decent night's sleep the night before. Again, I'm looking at an age thing for me. Like, I'm very mindful. Like, I'm not going to talk about what I'm doing this week, but with work-wise, although I've told you, like, I don't need to broadcast it, but I've got to be there at 9 a.m. on the Wednesday. But I'm staying up to watch Dynamite, so I know that'll be like a 5.5 hours sleep, 5 hours. But I'll make sure I get a decent sleep tomorrow night. Anyway, on to the next one. Who is the best Samoan Joe? Samoa Joe. Which high-profile MMA fighter would be the worst possible pro wrestler? That's got to be McGregor.
Conor McGregor, yeah.
He's just a cunt.
I've got to be honest though. You say the worst possible pro wrestler, he would fit perfectly in WWE. Everything about him fit.
Morally, he'd be perfectly aligned.
Yeah, and it probably will happen.
I'm a fan of this question. I asked this on Sky, but I'll ask it here too. If you were to pick one New Japan talent to go over and win an AEW title, what talent and what belt? For me, I would give Ishii the international title for a little run to go around Rev Pro, AEW, back to New Japan, and wherever else he wants to turn up, because I fucking love the dude. I think he's done so much good for AEW in the last couple of years. I enjoy him every time I see him live. He's one of the best performers and one of the standout people every time I see him. I would love him to have a little run with an AEW belt because I'm a bit of an Ishii stan.
Yes, same here.
That's a good answer, yeah. I'd say Zack Sabre Jr., obviously, but he's the world champion, so you can't. So Ishii is a good one.
his time will probably come in AEW, Zack Sabre Jr. anyway. At some point, something will happen with him when there's more of a presence with him, I'd imagine. It might be like an Ishii kind of deal, but like he's like every time I see him live, he honestly entertains so fucking much every time. He's brilliant. Who would be your 2 finalists, and who would win a 2020's King of the Indies tournament?
Ooh.
Michael Oku would win. Yeah, he would win. And finalist, oh my god, I don't fucking know. Fuck, it's a tough one though.
Michael Oku and Luke Jacobs.
Yeah, Michael Oku and Tate Mayfair.
Ooh.
Should Bryan Danielson win the G1, the next G1, and face off against Zack Sabre Jr. in the Tokyo Dome next year?
Yes.
Yes. That's a very good idea.
That's universal. And the final one, best and worst medieval weapons to be incorporated into the deathmatch style.
A mace. Mace would be the worst.
Mace should be both.
I mean, there's just too much. You don't have too. It's hard to. Mace might be the hardest thing to control, though.
True.
I think a catapult would be the worst because you'd have to have it set up outside the arena.
I've got one. This is a very quick one. It's a one-word answer or a 2-word answer potentially. Who wins in this confrontation? Maki Ito's headbutt or a Samoan?
Ooh, Maki Ito.
Maki Ito every time, yeah.
Yeah.
Depends which Samoan.
True. If we're bringing who's got the hardest head?
Jacob Fatu.
Where's the coconut when Roddy Piper needs it?
Oh god.
So yeah, is that us done? Is it?
That's us done.
I'm off to subscribe to Max using a VPN because it's only going to cost me £3.60 from the Argentine region. So yeah, I'll let you know how it goes.
Will you still get English commentary with that?
Yeah, you get everything that the American Max gets. Like it's just you're subscribing through that region, so it's cheaper. And I'm using a VPN anyway.
Keep an eye on you for the next 2 weeks, and if all things go to plan, then I'll pin off fight and use that.
I'm using a VPN anyway, so I might as well go for the cheaper region than America.
Yeah, too right. Good old Argentina.
I'll let you know how it goes. I'll update the podcast next week, whether if I'm watching Dynamite on Max or I'm still on Triller. Sounds nice one, lads. I will. We'll see you all next week.
Enjoy Kenny Omega on Wednesday night. Peace out.
Yes, sir. Bye, guys.